Alright, how's it going? Okay. Yep. Yep. Oh, I mean, obviously not twin, but yeah. You don't have one of these shirts. No, this is zero. Hang on a second. Yeah, I'd say so. Nothing there. Yeah, I've been alright. Yeah, it's try to get it out as early as possible. It's one of those things with traveling nowadays. It makes it difficult to get everything sorted. You don't know what you need, and there's always an extra form you need to fill out. And yeah, so at the moment, there's a stack of documents like this, approvals and certificates and attestations to the US government, visas, and yeah, it's going to be fun. Oh, yeah, I mean, we transfer through Auckland, so we do go through New Zealand, but that's not a problem because it's an international transfer. You don't have to worry about any sort of immigration or anything there, but it's, yeah, even just getting straight into the States, it's red tape nightmare at the moment, so. No, getting home's easy now. So the Australian government a few weeks back came to their senses and stopped mandatory testing to come back into the country.
All right, let's see if that fixed it. Are you now seeing the full screening output? Okay. And so I'm going to turn the audio on. And I've got my audio on. And let's just get out of this nonsense. There we go. There we go. All right. Tim, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I can hear you. That's good. I forgot one shortcut. Doggone it. A brain is a terrible thing to lose. I've got one around here somewhere. It's on a shelf or something. Okay, yes, of course Tim's mic is open. It's because Tom is an idiot. But that's okay. Do you know this summer in July, Streaming Idiots, well, plus its predecessor, will be 10 years old? We are the longest continually running internet live streaming show about live streaming in the world, in the galaxy, in the universe. Well, I would assume in the universe, but you just never know. Yep. So I was bummed out that I had to get a COVID test 2 days before the show in order to prove that I'm virus free. But you've got an inch thick stack of forms. Sandy and I have been looking at coming to Australia soon when things calm down just a little bit more. Yeah, we want to do one of those trains. We were looking at the various train rides. The GAN was one of them I was looking at. And it, although the scenery looked like sort of the same thing mile after mile after mile after mile.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the Canadian Rockies or anything like that. So.
No, if you enjoy desert and outback landscapes, then that's a great thing for you. I don't think there's too much diversity when it comes to that trip.
Yeah. Tim's audio is a bit quiet. Okay, let's bump him up a little bit. Let's try that. Yeah, we're looking for the typical Australian experience. I don't know whether to chase a kangaroo or eat it, but we'll just have to wait and see.
You could do both.
At the same time.
Yeah, probably could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're quite a nuisance here in a lot of places. So yeah. The government and people have definitely encouraged people to eat more kangaroos in the past. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So is there like McDonald's franchise for kangaroo burgers?
No, there's no kangaroo burgers on any one like fast food menus, but I'm sure that there's plenty of cafes that serve kangaroo burgers and steaks and that kind of thing. So, but you can buy it from the supermarket.
Really?
So you can buy it from Coles.
Wow.
Yeah, it just comes. When you buy steak, it comes in the packaging. You can buy kangaroo stuff like that. It's a little bit tough. Like it's more gamey than most like beef or something. So you have to know how to cook it properly. Like you have to make sure that it's properly cooked. Which is I'm not a good cook, so I'm not the right person to talk about when cooking kangaroo. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's all right. It's got more of a rich sort of taste to it. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what is the current market price of a Mountain Dew?
Oh, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I haven't bought a Mountain Dew in a long time. I don't know how much it is. Depends on whether you've got a can or a bottle or a larger bottle. No idea.
Holy cow.
Thanks for the question.
Well, just checking. Hello, Lewis. Welcome. Glad you're here. KMR's here. Cardell's here. Maggie's here. Maggie sends her greetings. Tim, have you got the chat there?
No, I got nothing.
You got nothing. Okay. Well, Maggie says, "Hey
nothing,
Tim,
it's just me.
Can't wait to see you at NAB." And Maggie says, "Tom, didn't you or Sandy have a Roo Burger when we were at the Bird Dog Bash in Amsterdam?" Who remembers that far back? Goodness gracious. Could be. Could be.
I think you did. Rings the bell.
I'm game for anything once. Twice, maybe, but once for sure. I told you, did I tell you I got my knee replaced? I have a new knee. It's amazing.
That's cool.
I can walk forever now, and there's no pain and no swelling, and just I've lost 20 pounds, and I'm a whole new me. I can't jog. Jogging is off the menu, but I can ride bikes. I have a bike in the house. I go about 6 miles a day. Although, who really knows how far that is? Goodness. Maggie said it was a wild party. She thinks that I had 2 lemonades. I think I had more than 2 lemonades at that party. That was over the top. I might have gone for a 3 lemonade night. I do have a lemonade here, so bottoms up.
I had my morning iced coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
My stubby cooler's holding up well-ish. It's kind of falling apart at the seams.
Oh my gosh, that's the original one.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in like 2005 or something.
No, I was looking at it today. It says 2018. So
2018.
Mm.
Holy cow. Well, we'll give
the
you
green
a
one didn't
replacement.
hold up too well. I prefer the black one.
Oh, well, we have a new color this year.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's going to be a big surprise. Big surprise. That's the biggest surprise I've got is the color of the koozie. All right, Frank says, can we get a look at your new knee and how many miles you've got it so far? Frank, if you come to NAB, my new knee will be on display in booth number 427. Yes. No, not really. But it's amazing. The whole technology of this. They 3D print knee inserts now, Tim. So if you go into the knife,
All right.
they get the measurements as soon as they get the knee open, and then they start printing the new knee in the next room. Of course, I don't think the new knee has the life expectancy of the traditional method, so they haven't worked all the bugs out yet. Yeah.
What's it made out of?
I think, I am not a 3D guy, so it's obviously the toughest stuff that a 3D printer can put out that your body won't reject. Mine's made of titanium, but it's got all these little micropores in it so that the bone can grow into it faster. Has really speeded up recovery. I'm amazed. I thought I would be limping and swollen the rest of my life, but I'm like a regular boy. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow.
All right, Robin said, I thought you two were at the same place, the NAB Expo. Well, Robin, in 2 weeks, we will be. A week and a half. A week from Sunday. A week from Sunday.
That's it.
A week from Sunday. And the Streaming Idiots meetup is that Monday night, April 25th, at Scott Whitney's studio at 6 o'clock. We've got a time. And we have ordered multiple cases of Mountain Dew just to make sure we have enough on hand. And lemonade.
Who drinks Mountain Dew?
I thought you were the Mountain Dew man.
No.
No.
Not at all, no.
What is the drink of choice?
You've ordered root beer for me before, remember?
Root beer. Where did I get Mountain Dew? That must be
I
Barrett,
have no idea.
my youngest son. Root beer. All right. Nick, change the order to root beer. We need root beer now. Okay. So we'll change the order to root beer. Maggie says Dr. Pepper or root beer. So she was watching your back. She was watching your back. Yep. Okay, we're doing good here on time. We've got just a few minutes left before we start the regular show. So Rich Ignacio says IBC root beer. Not to be confused with root beer that you can get in Amsterdam in the fall. That would be a different kind of IBC root beer. Robin says, oh, I'm a week early. Sorry, moving too fast. No problem. No problem. We've got you. And Frank's retracted his message. All right, sorry. There we go. There we go. So, did you get my email today? Like
No.
10 minutes ago? Okay.
What did it say?
Well, it just said I was standing
Anything
by.
exciting?
And it gave you the password again.
Oh.
I've had a terrible problem with my emails going to people's spam filters. I had
Stop spamming people then.
It's not me. I think it's the ISP that runs my email program. But I sent an email to my mother's CPA, and after like 3 weeks of them not responding, I called and they said, "Oh, here it is in the spam filter." I check my spam filter every day. I mean, just to make sure. But apparently they've got better things to do. Holy cow.
Yeah, a lot of companies won't bother checking their spam filter all the time.
I guess.
Maybe it's something to do with the formatting of your email or something like that.
It could have been. But But you get my emails. That's the point I was worried about. You're getting my. Of course, you don't know the
No, I
ones
get
you're
your
not
emails.
getting.
Just because I don't reply to them doesn't mean that I'm not getting them. I'm just not replying to them.
It's just
That's how it works.
okay. Oh, Sandy is in chat and she says, "Did you know that the Texarkana barbecue has been closed?"
What?
Yes.
Where am I going to go and do my Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton's karaoke when I'm in Southern Alabama next time?
Well, we will find a place, or we will create a space, a safe space for you to do that. But,
What happened?
They burned out, really more than anything else. They'd done barbecue 1,000 different ways, and it was time for a new challenge. They were making money.
Oh.
It wasn't that they went out of business. They just chose to close the business. And we haven't been back to see what else is in there. Or if we did, it wasn't very impressive. So we don't have a good barbecue restaurant around. But Nick is going to hook us up with some barbecue at the Streaming Idiots meetup. So that's the promise.
Right.
That he's got the inside track. Yeah.
What about the Po' Boy restaurant? Is that still around?
The Po' Boy restaurant.
There was a sandwich place that we went to.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which one it was. No, I think that one's changed hands too. You know, COVID has just turned the restaurant industry, same for you guys, just upside down. Everybody was closed. And then here in the States, the crazy government wants to pay people forever not to work. And it's really been hard to get people that are willing to do, part-time minimum wage, which is what a lot of restaurants rely on. Craziness. Craziness. Robin wants to know how to put the chat on the same page as the video stream. Robin, it depends on what you're watching. If you're watching it on the YouTube app, you might be able to overlay it. Otherwise, you can go to our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, go to the Watch Live page, and you could do this on a different device. And there's the chat there that you can pop out just the chat and make that full screen on your second device. And so you can, that's what I do for the vMix Fun Time live show. So watch it on the big screen and then chat on the small screen. With the chat running through the big screen too, because the TV offers that option. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. All right, Frank wants to know, and Frank, we will address this. What are your thoughts on Starlink internet for streaming? And Josh says the NAB meetup with expensive lemonade again. No, the lemonade is free this year. Lemonade is free. Root beer is free. It's going to be great. It's amazing. Yep. We've got a what do you call it? Not a sponsor, an underwriter. We have an underwriter in the background that's underwriting all the costs. It's amazing. All right, Tim, let's get the show started now that we're done with the obligatory pre-show. And we'll be right back, assuming that everything works and I didn't break it. It worked. It worked. How about that? That's great. Hey, I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. You've arrived at the end of the internet. We have a rare evening show. If you are watching us live, then you already know that it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast in the U.S., daylight savings time, of course. And we do that periodically and for one reason only when we do this, so that we can invite specific guests that live in a different time zone, shall we say, different time zone. In fact, not only is it a different time zone, it's a different continent. Not only is it a different continent, it's a different hemisphere. I mean, it's just like as far away from here as you could just about be. I went to Thailand. Sandy and I went to Thailand to visit our son a while back, and it was literally on the other side of the world. It was 12 hours difference, and it was amazing. But we are delighted, I am delighted, excited to have with us tonight the COO of vMix. Tim has come to us all the way from Australia. How do we get that little QR code up there? Oh my gosh, where did that come from? Can I take that off? There we go. Sorry about that. And it is now, 4 a.m. Australian time. Tim, what time is it really down where you are? Oh, crap. You would think I would know how to do this stuff after all this time. Your mic is now on.
What have you done?
I just turned you off. You're on now. It did exactly what I told it to do.
Deary me.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it's 7 o'clock here on the Central Time Zone, 7:03 p.m. East Central Daylight Time. And are you guys on AEST?
Yes. Yeah, we're Australian Eastern Standard Time. We don't believe in daylight savings here, but daylight savings is finished anyway. Finished like 2 weeks ago. So we're back to regular time on the East Coast of Australia now. So it's yeah, it's all good. It's 10 o'clock on Thursday, and I thought it was Wednesday for some reason. the lady at the coffee shop was like, nope, it's Thursday. So it's Thursday today. And we have a 4-day weekend starting tomorrow of public holidays. So
Yes.
that's exciting.
Exciting. And then you leave on what, Monday or Tuesday?
Next Thursday, if all goes to plan, yeah, we leave next Thursday.
Oh, my word.
Thursday, yeah.
Oh, my word. So you guys will be no. For anybody that just joined us that doesn't know, Tim is in Australia, and he and some of the vMix team are flying to the U.S. next week for NAB, and it's a what is it, a 16-hour flight, Tim? More than that?
Well, if you fly direct sort of from Brisbane or Sydney, it's going to be 12 to 14 hours, but we kind of take the long way around because it's a long story that we can get into. I can tell you certain people around here have specific preferences as to where they go and what time they fly and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, all up the trip will be about 17 hours for me to get to LA, and then another flight to Vegas, which is another hour plus layovers and stuff. So probably about 24 hours-ish to get landed in Las Vegas at whatever the new airport's called there.
Yeah, it's still McCarran, isn't it?
No.
Do we have a new airport? Oh my gosh.
We have a new airport name.
But same airport, just different name.
Yeah, same airport. Different, just a new name. Yeah.
I was going to go. This is really going to be tough if I'm going to
end up in the wrong place. No, I saw that. I was trying to work out like locations and moving different places and where I got to go, and I'm like, where's the airport? Like, it's like you type in McCarran when you
yes,
for a destination or arrival port, and yeah, I'm like, where is it? And yeah, it turned out they changed the name of it last year, I think, or the year before. But yeah, since the last time I've been there, it's changed.
Says in chat that it's the Harry Reid International Airport. Harry Reid was the senator, Democratic senator from the state of Nevada. Interesting. Mm-hmm. I think he died recently. Anyway.
Yeah, you might have. Yeah.
Well, all this trivia aside, I really would love it if you could share with us some of the behind the scenes thinking on the vMix process, that highly patented process that you guys use to create new versions of vMix. I mean, I know you've got the contract with the think tank in Hong Kong, and you've got that agency out of Chicago that you guys contract with to come up with these new ideas, and you can't reveal those secrets. But if you would kind of share with us some of the process of creating a new version of vMix.
Sure, but there's really probably not that much to it. I mean, most of the time, ideally, you make a product that people want to use. So you want to include things that have features that people would utilize in their day-to-day workflow and that sort of thing. So, I mean, for us, it's, I know I spend a lot of time making video tutorials and kind of relearning everything because, we've had the product for a while now, and then you go back and you're like, oh, well, we're receiving a lot of support emails about a specific topic. And then you go, okay, well, let's sit down and we'll make a video about it. And so you sit down and you start doing things a certain way, and you realize, wait a minute, this could be a little bit better, and why isn't this here, and why isn't that there? And so that can sometimes lead to features and changes and stuff in vMix, just because we're forced to use it ourselves a lot, and that way we're like, well, this needs to improve. So that's one way. Obviously, the forums and stuff that we have, people put feature requests and that sort of things on there, so that gives us the ability to see what people are interested in, and yeah, that's kind of the two main ways that we come up with features and that sort of thing. So yeah,
the feature request forum currently has 3,760 topics.
Right.
With over 15,000 posts. People that are carrying on about one feature or another. And you've read every single one of those, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
And if you don't have anything to do, you just go start back at the beginning and read them all through again. Oh my.
That's right. Yeah.
One of my favorite
No, I mean,
threads.
like there's a
Go
lot
ahead.
of things like that. Obviously, a lot of features in there, and even when people bring things up, it's like, oh, I'm the first person to have thought about it. A lot of the times, we've already considered like 99% of the different features and things that come up on either the feature requests or in Facebook groups or on Reddit or wherever you are, or emails that we get like saying you need to have this feature and that sort of thing. So we kind of, have already considered them. Like things pop up and I'll take a look at the feasibility of it. Like if a new technology pops up or some sort of new transport protocol or some sort of new equipment or anything like that, I'll take a quick look into it initially and say, well, is it something that would be worthwhile for vMix users? How many people are going to use it? And then kind of look at the technical implementation of whether it's going to be possible within, what we do, and whether it's going to be, is there like a trade-off in regards to performance to add that new feature versus, whether it's worthwhile for, what we're doing. So yeah, there's a lot of things that come up and a lot of sort of processes on a big whiteboard and notepads and all these different things of crazy features and crazy ideas and, what people want and yeah, that sort of thing.
One of my favorite features is the one we're using right now, vMix Call. And the discussion that went on in the feature request forum. If you're bored one day, just folks go back and read through that. It went on for years. The discussion on adding a video call, to the point where Martin said early on the technology is just not, it's just not right. It's not there yet. It's not mature enough. It's not stable enough. And then all of a sudden, after 4 years, pow, out it popped. That was a classic. I love it. So
yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of have to, make sure that a technology or something's mature enough and there's enough adoption as well. Like you might have competing protocols out there. One might be slightly inferior, but if it's got major adoption from huge hardware players and huge software players, then sometimes that will dictate whether you implement that particular protocol over another one. So there's a few that are floating around at the moment, especially with that sort of, video transport over IP and, point-to-point transport and stuff, that there are a number of them that are out there, but it kind of sometimes it does just boil down to, well, this one's got more of a push from somewhere. It may not be exactly what you want, but it's going to be more widely used and therefore probably in the end will be more beneficial to more people. So it's a sort of a interesting tightrope to walk when it comes to different options that you can add to software.
you say that, but yet at the same time, you guys have a history of being an early adopter for technology. vMix was the very first hardware or software, besides NewTek, to adopt NDI. Was that 2016? They're rolling out NDI at NAB, and vMix already has it in it. And it wasn't an established technology, although Martin said he'd been thinking about that, trying to solve that problem for a long time. But that was just, and holy cow, you talk to people today and they can't live without NDI. It's just, everybody uses it. In fact, I use it. When I use it, I don't even think I'm using it. It's just there. It's ubiquitous. Well, I want to go further back into history to vMix Social. Do you remember when vMix Social came out? Do you remember what version that was? I should have gone back and looked and done my homework.
We lose track of time. There's so many different things going on and versions, and then you're releasing them in time with certain trade shows, and then you miss a trade show and you do it at a different time. You just numbers and years just kind of all melt together. So I couldn't tell you. I should probably know, but I have no idea.
Well, somebody in chat's going to tell us in just a second, because they're going to go to your website and they're going to go back in time if it goes far. I think it was like vMix 12 or something like that.
I mean,
Um, but
yeah. I mean, I can find it out easily.
no, no,
enough if
no,
I load
it
up.
doesn't matter. What I want to know is, where did the idea come from? I mean, that was so anticipatory of the whole social media thing that's taken over the world now. But back then, it was just kind of like oh, well, that's kind of interesting. What's why is that important? When would I ever need to use something like that? And then it's like, oh my gosh, now I use it all the time. And I teach people how to use it all the time. It was ahead of its time. Do you remember any of the discussions that y'all had about creating vMix Social back in the day?
I honestly I have no idea. I don't even remember that. It's such a long time ago that I couldn't tell you, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I think we probably just had a lot of people asking for,
Okay.
how do I bring in this content? Like, how do I interact with people? And
Okay.
I think that was one of the big things that was missing from a lot of platforms, is that there was no interactivity. And I think with Facebook Live becoming, kind of the biggest platform for people to live stream to, they really wanted to bring in those comments. And I mean, it definitely helps people engage, and it increases, your retention of people that are watching the stream. So,
right.
We tried to help contribute to people having, more successful and more popular live streams. So yeah, we just thought it was important to add, so we added it. Obviously, there's a lot of hoops and things that you have to jump through, and it's a bit of a nightmare when it comes to APIs, because we've had, Instagram API was, yeah, sure, you can have this, but then no, you can't. So it's a difficult situation when you're dealing with massive, trillion-dollar companies, but then you're also dealing with 60 different departments within each company, and then each company has their own subsidiary and different, so nobody's talking to anybody. And then, if one person somewhere decides that they don't want you to use their API anymore, they flick a switch, and then that's it. And then you got to try and work out how you need to contact the right person. So it's, having the social stuff is great. And, people request a lot of, new ones that are coming out, newer things. They want certain, platforms to have the social as well. But it's a crazy sort of nightmare sometimes when it comes to using API, and especially with personal data nowadays. There are so many different things you have to go through, security reviews and all sorts of things, just to, prove that you're not using it nefariously. And so, it's a bit of a crazy thing, but hopefully the ones that we have there in the moment work fine. And so, we'll see how that goes though. But hopefully all the social stuff that's in there now with Facebook and YouTube and Twitter works as it should for a long time to come.
And you guys are, totally at the mercy of Facebook. If Facebook decides we don't like Australians this week, they can simply say, oh, well, we're not going to let you live stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. You remember that was June 2016. Because we were all in Atlanta. For the StreamCon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was. That was a crazy one where it was, again, you're dealing with a lot of different departments. So you may have contact at a certain organization or a platform or a CDN or something that, deals with sort of the product side of things. But then you have somebody that deals with regulatory things, and you have someone else that deals with, making sure that you're going by the letter of the law when it comes to their API. So there's a lot of different things. So like I said, it can be one person somewhere that says, oh, they're not doing this right, and they flick a switch, and then that's the end. And then you have to go through kind of like a review process and all sorts of things. So I'm glad that they got rid of that particular thing, allowing people to multi-stream. Thankfully, streaming to multiple destinations became a thing that everybody wanted to do. So
Yep. Josh C says that vMix Social was in vMix 12. So that was a good guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Only 8 years, Tim.
Only 8 years.
It seems like a lifetime. So, all right, here's the discussion question for next. Have all the good ideas already been thought? Are there
All
any?
of them, yes. All of them have already been thought, yep. Was it a question or a statement?
It's a question. I mean, are there no more next big things within our little teeny ecosystem?
I don't know. I'd like to think no. But, everything changes and people need to continue to push the envelope to make more money or to fund their startup or do whatever they need to do. So there's always going to be new stuff that's getting pushed and, developed, and ideas that have come up with that nobody's thought of yet. So I don't think that we're at a stop for that kind of thing. I mean, as of only, probably prior to the pandemic, SRT was, has come out. Well, it's obviously been around for a little bit before that, but,
right.
That's kind of changed the way that people were able to communicate or video transport
right.
easily. And, WebRTC has been around for a long time, but we've seen that
right.
kind of change and transform the way that people are communicating from, video software like ours. So, I mean, that's something that's people probably never even thought they needed previously. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming that hopefully video transport gets easier and, compression gets better, and maybe at some point they'll start adopting some of these new protocols and stuff to make it easier. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. I mean, we have some ideas, obviously, of our own that we'd like to do, but,
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see what happens in the future.
Yeah, you have some ideas that you're thinking about for the future? Just ideas?
Always, yeah. We've got some crazy ideas,
Crazy ideas. Oh, my.
Always. This is me you're talking to. They don't make any sense. And they're just mainly like hand-drawn pictures on my whiteboard. But, that's all that you need, right? What do they say? It's like an idea is the seed, and then you pour water on it.
If I broke into your studio tonight and I saw the whiteboards, would I understand what I was looking at? Or would it just be...
Probably not. Probably half of it, maybe. You'd be right to understand. But the rest of it's... There's a number of whiteboards, and I think they kind of escalate in craziness. So there's a lot of different things written down and discussed. And I mean, like I said, a lot of the times you come up with an idea, or you see a piece of technology or some sort of new way of doing things that is a long way off, but you make a note of it, you look at it, you go, well, this is not technically possible right now, but hey, maybe in 3 years' time, it's going to be a thing that everybody's going to be doing.
Right.
Similar to, having this inbuilt video calling, seeing WebRTC, years and years ago and being like, well, it's not quite there yet, but now we feel it's, matured enough for us to be able to add it as a feature. So plenty of things like that that we have stored in our pocket or wherever it goes in the cupboard for, potential future releases if technology matures, or if, hardware gets to the point where it can do certain things. So, yeah.
Jeff Hill is saying that perhaps there needs to be a vMix transporter for instant teleportation anywhere worldwide. I think Martin was working on that a while back. No, well, yeah, and with the X keys folks, wasn't there something to do with X keys and teleportation? Yeah, there was a show on that.
I'm not sure.
It just never.
My brain has stopped working over the last few years. If I'll be honest, I don't remember anything. Like I was going through all of our stuff just to be sure that I had everything in place for NAB, and going through each of we've been doing NAB since 2014, I think, just kind of going through all of our old files and photos and layouts and information and notes that I'd left myself, and just trying to remember all the different things that, I need to remember. And it was like, oh yeah, we need to do that, or I need to do this. And do you remember when we did this, Martin? He's like, what? No, that never happened. And I'm like, here's a photo. And he's like, oh, well, I guess it did happen. So, so much stuff has kind of transpired since vMix is around, and we tend to forget all of these little things. So yeah, I don't quite remember a teleportation device, but maybe there was one.
I remember the rainforest event at NAB when that was the year you guys had the green screen studio and the heavens opened up above your studio
Oh man,
and just flooded everything. It was
that was the worst. We were talking about that. Yeah, hugely problematic because we were going. That was one of the things we went through that year, and just had a look at the cost of putting that particular stage on,
right,
and just the initial quotes that we got from people for that setup. It was like half of what we ended up with. Was just astronomical, and couldn't believe how much it was going to cost us. And it was never again. We were talking about it, and I distinctly remember you saying like, "Oh, this is great! Like, how amazing is this? Let's do it again next year." And we're like, "Did you not hear us complain for the last 4 days about how much time and effort and problems and just everything that went into it?" And we're like, "Never again."
You guys did not enjoy that NAB. You guys were not happy campers.
Horrible.
Yeah, but it was great.
Again.
It was great. It was really great.
More power to anybody that sets up a stage on their own and their own equipment and has like a full studio running at a live trade show with streaming and everything like that. More power to you. But it's just not something that's easily doable if that's not your sole focus of attention. Like, you need to have producers and technical people, and you need to have a full team that's running a stream. Whereas we were trying to do other stuff,
but you did it. Yeah. You pulled it off.
It's done. Maybe. Yeah.
I still have a thumb drive that Martin gave me from that. It's in Martin's handwriting. It says Tom on the thumb drive, but it had, I don't know, all the details from the Streaming Idiots show that we were going to do live there on that set. It's in my, I'll put it in my memoirs. Very outstanding.
I think I still have your full show too. Like all the assets and videos and stuff from one of your streams one year. Yeah.
Well, and then the next year,
I could run my own Streaming Idiots show.
You could do a clone. That's right. You could do a counterfeit. That's right. You could do the Streaming Idiots, and nobody would know the difference. Oh, yeah. But the next year, remember, we did the Streaming Idiot show from a table and chairs. I think there was a high top with a couple of chairs.
Backside of the
backside of the booth.
Yeah.
And that was the year that
I think that's when Dave showed up in his banana.
In his banana suit. That's right. That was classic. That was classic. Yeah. Have you had anybody show up in a banana suit since?
No, that's it. That's the only one.
What would you give to somebody that showed up in a banana suit this year?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it would probably be the first one. I wouldn't want to make it a thing where it was like anybody that shows up in a banana suit. But
we're going to rent banana suits outside for $5.
Yeah, the first person that did, I'm sure we could arrange something. Don't reveal what we gave Dave, but we could probably organize that again if somebody really wanted to do that. But it's not a matter of putting it on at the booth. They have to walk in wearing the thing and get all the way to the booth with it on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has to be a banana.
That's important.
Can't be a koala or a kangaroo or something. That would be too mundane. It has to be a banana. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Well, if anybody was lucky enough to secure an NFT from vMix, then they should wear their NFT shirt to NAB. Maybe there's a special kickback for those people that would wear an NFT shirt to NAB. I'm just saying.
Oh. You know, I know at least 2 other people that have them.
I've seen some pictures on the internet. So
Anthony has
There are
one.
a few NFTs around there.
Yeah. Yep. Kevin says he's got 5.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's a lot of NFTs for your blockchain.
Yeah, that's right. Someday somebody
People got very
upset.
It was hilarious. I like it. I love 1st of April. It's the best time of the year. It's great fun.
There was the year that you guys put a feature in vMix that was a voice control. And I thought that was an April Fool's joke because you introduced it on the 1st of April. But it turns out it was really there. I did my next show under voice command. Of course, it was a disaster.
That went so well, didn't it?
Yes. Oh, golly. You know, pop-ups were happening all over the place because it didn't understand my Alabama accent. I had to dial it in a little tighter.
Yeah, I'm all for semi-functional features is the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it works 80. What was it that you said? It was 80%
Well, that's right.
accurate,
It was
20% of the time.
That's right. That's exactly right. So yeah,
it
was definitely as advertised. So
we remember the Timisms. Yeah, we have. Somebody's probably start writing them down and going to put them in a book and make $1 million. Before we forget, we have to do a little business here. So we're using the new barn door. You can get a free badge to NAB if you use the code LV for Las Vegas, 3657. And you'll want to make a note, not that you really care because you're going to be able to find it easily, but vMix is in the North Hall at 4231. But that will be that'll be easy to find because it'll be are you doing the big circular vMix banner over the top this year like in past years? Yeah. So you know.
Yeah, there should be.
Okay.
We're on an aisle towards the back, so you can. Yeah, we don't know what it's going to be like. NAB this year, or any trade show, no idea what it's going to be like. I mean, I'm predicting probably 30% attendance, but you don't know what it's going to be like. Yeah.
Okay.
So you should
Eric's
be able
in the
to
house.
find us at some point.
Eric says, "What's up, Tom and Tim?" And
Not much.
And Brula Fu says he's used vMix Voice and it worked fairly well. So
fairly well. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that's right. That's high praise.
Glowing review right there. Yeah.
Yep. So will there be mouse pads at the booth this year?
In theory, yeah. In theory, there should be a lot of mouse pads. We've been told that they've been delivered to the advanced warehouse. So
must not have been your main USA website, your main USA warehouse, because it's empty.
No, not our main mouse pad warehouse distribution. No.
Yeah, yeah, we've got empty pallets.
I think they'll all be there. We hope so.
Good.
I don't know.
Good. One design. How many different designs?
There are 3 different designs.
3 different designs. Do you recall?
2 designs of new designs, and then there is a commemorative mouse pad. And so there is a limited edition commemorative mouse pad that must be seen to be believed.
Wow. Limited edition. That means you have to come Sunday to get one because they'll be gone.
Oh, there's plenty of mouse pads, but there's just less of this particular mouse pad than the other 2.
Yeah. Yeah. But for those of you with your vMix mouse pad collection and you need 3 new ones. Yep, I don't even have one on my desk. Holy cow. I do have one over there, though. You could make a whole wall with your mouse pads. I thought about doing that, but then I ended up giving them away. Oh, well. All right, so are there any other things that we might be interested in coming by the vMix booth for besides you and mouse pads?
Well, we've kind of positioned ourselves to be the mouse pad booth company of NAB. So, I mean, it's difficult to know, like when planning for NAB or any of these trade shows this year, it's just hard to know what to expect, what you're supposed to set your booth up as, what you're supposed to display and that sort of thing. Yeah. So, is anybody going to be there? So, I mean, it's not, I will temper expectations and say that it's not going to be a very exciting booth this year, just because, there's so many unknowns and it's difficult to plan for a trade show that you don't know is going to happen type thing. So it's not going to be particularly exciting, but we will have plenty of mouse pads. So if all else fails, come by and grab a mouse pad or 2. and sell them on eBay for twice the price if you want to.
Here's the thing. If only 30% show up, I think it's going to be 50, but in that range, those folks are going to be hardcore. They're not going to be casual observers. They're going to be the
We've been discussing it here, trying to work out
shell.
What it's going to be. Like, you could get people that are, I think it's going to be a mixed bag of people that are really, really into it, and they're like, I need to talk to these people. I need to be, I've been doing this live production and been doing video during the pandemic, and am I doing it right? Like, I want to come and check out everything and talk to people for the first time in a couple of years. But then I think there'll also always be a percentage of, hey, my company's willing to fly me somewhere for free and I haven't done it in 2 years, so I'm totally going to NAB for 4 days and not turn up to the show at all. So I think it's going to be people excited and, fervent sort of people that are into the industry, and then also people that are running junkets and getting free trips to Las Vegas. So it'll be interesting to see, because they've opened up that new West Hall since we've been there last time, which is a super fancy new
really
hall, and everything's brand new, and it's really swank. So it'd be interesting to see what that's like.
Now, am I to understand that if anybody happens to use this this code, this LV3657, that it does benefit vMix in terms of future NABs? LV3657.
Yeah, there's something they added something this year where it's kind of like, well, more people you get using this code, the more like priority points and stuff you get. So I think it does. So feel free to use our code if you want. Knock yourself out. Don't use Eric's code. That's all I've got to say.
Well, we had Eric on last week. He can fend for himself.
Oh, I know. He was like, who cares about those other guys? Use my code. I need it. This is our first year exhibiting. I'm like, well, dude, you should have been exhibiting prior to this, So
he's so bashful. I wish he'd just come out and say what he thinks. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we can help people out here. We're just going to lay this out there. And there it is, the LV3657. And let's get vMix right up in the front between Black Magic and B&H. Yeah, right there.
Man, we could have had a booth right next to B&H this year.
Really?
But I think, as Eric explained, I mean, like there's always plenty of space and stuff, but you have to consider like the size of the booth, and then you've got to consider the foot traffic versus like quality foot traffic. Like it's great to have your booth completely filled up all the time, but if only 1% of those people are actually interested in your product, you've wasted so much time and effort. So plus you have to consider noise as well. I remember Eric saying that he was like, I think he's between Adobe and Atomos or something, or Adobe and someone else, and it's loud. Like, it is loud. So we looked at those sort of areas as well, but man, if you can't hear yourself think, you just get a headache by the end of the week trying to yell at people and trying to, talk to people, having a normal conversation. And it's crazy. So we're okay with where we've got our booth this year. It's up the back. So,
well, I think vMix is, you guys are a destination. You're not a waypoint along the way. You're a destination. I mean, people that in my world, I've got 10 different destinations that I want to see, that I want to spend some time with. And the vMix booth at N4231 is the top of the list. Did you know Sandy's coming?
I did. You've already told me, remember?
Yeah, no, I know. But she is really
excited. If she wasn't
excited.
coming, I mean, you'd be in trouble.
Well, if
she's been once before, hasn't she?
No, this is a whole new thing.
Okay.
She came to IBC, and that blew her mind.
I remember that. Yeah, I just thought she might have come one time. It's just sometimes you get people that just bring their wife for like 1 hour, and they're like, this is this, and they look completely completely unenthused by the whole situation. They're like, yeah, can we go now? So yeah, I thought she might have come one time to Las Vegas, but yeah,
Well,
that was probably someone else.
I think it was the fact that she met so many people in kind of the live streaming world in Amsterdam that now she has people she knows. It's not, she doesn't care two wits about any of the products. But she can't wait to see you and Martin. She can't wait to see Maggie. That kind of stuff. She missed terribly meeting Tess last time because Tess at the last minute couldn't come to Amsterdam. And Sandy had been looking forward to meeting Tess at PTZ Optics. So, yeah, there's this community of people.
That's the funny thing with the last show being in 2019 is that there's been people that went to the trade shows for their first time, met all these people, and then haven't been able to see them for 3 years. So 2 or 3 years. So
thank goodness for social media and vMix Social. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Got it. So mouse pads and wear a banana suit. And Las Vegas, you can probably rent a banana suit for next to nothing.
I'm sure that you could buy one off Amazon and have it delivered to a locker at your hotel within an hour. So.
Exactly. Yes, the European...
We also have the competition for those that aren't going to be there as well. So typically each year we have a competition for people that aren't there. They can scrape social media and blogs and news articles for people wearing the vMix lanyard.
Right.
And they can, if they get the most famous person on our Facebook post, then they can win vMix Pro. So that's something to keep an eye out for if you're not going to go to NAB, or even if you are.
Okay.
Go
Did
through
y'all
and have
get
a look
that?
at all of the trades and all that.
vMix
kind of stuff
Pro
as
is
well.
like $1,200, and they're going to give that away for free if you can find on social media somebody wearing the lanyard, the little name badge string thing that says vMix on it. Y'all are doing the lanyards again this year? Holy cow, that's intense.
Yeah, well, we were going to do them in 2020, but that didn't happen, and then with 2021, that didn't happen. So it's 2022 now.
So you've got
kind of rolled over
100,000 lanyards sitting around. You may as well make some use of them.
Yeah, that's right. There's been So
there's a warehouse full of lanyards.
From. That's pretty much exactly the reason. There's since 2020, there's been all these vMix lanyards. Who knows where they are? I'm assuming in some sort of like Indiana Jones like warehouse type thing. And, I did. So we'll have them this year. So if people, basically, anyone that's taken a photograph or had a blog or press release or news or anything like that, unless they bring their own lanyard, which some of these cool companies do, but unless they do that, then there'll be pictures of actors and people in the industry and sports people and all sorts of stuff wearing a vMix lanyard that have attended NAB. So keep your eyes peeled on like Twitter and all your favorite streaming news, production news, sports video news, all that kind of stuff, and see if you can spot some famous people wearing the vMix lanyard.
And pictures of Tim and Martin don't count. That's not. They just don't count.
Yeah, or you.
Or me. That's right.
No offense.
That's right. Well, I won't be wearing a vMix lanyard. I'll be wearing an Atomos lanyard. Yeah, right. No, I'm delighted about the lanyards. I didn't realize that. I meant to ask that. That's good. So Maggie's saying in chat that the vMix booth will not be very far from the X Keys booth for PI Engineering. So
no, they're just around the corner.
Just around the corner.
Oh, I think depending on how the booths in between are laid out, we might be able to see them.
Line of sight.
Or
that's right.
We might be able to kind of. I imagine there'll probably be a divider or wall on one of the ones in the corner. So if we want to throw stuff, we're going to have to throw it up and over, as opposed to like throwing stuff directly. So.
Now I think you go get some of Eric's little Atom 500 radios, and do a video link, wireless video link. That would be the thing.
I'm hoping for stress balls. I reckon I can get enough stress balls to throw over there. I think that
would be transferring
PTZ
stress.
Optics had stress balls one year. Most of the places do. I mean, I don't know. I think Maggie and Miranda went around one year and went to all of the different places to have a look to see where X skis were being used, and I think they came back with two handfuls of like stress related, ball things, and yeah. So I've got a stack of them in my drawer. I think I ended up with. So there's plenty to be had. So I have to get used to the weight and practice throwing them.
And in a pinch, a rubber band and a vMix mouse pad could be carefully crafted into a stress ball. There you go.
True. We always thought about getting stress balls, but it's just, they seem like they'd end up on the ground and rolled around, and yeah, people trip on them, and I don't know. It
seems very stressful. Yeah. Oh, golly.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think if I had one, I'd actually be able to completely squeeze it. A lot of stress.
Yes, the European NAB equivalent is IBC, the International Broadcasting Conference, which is typically held in the fall in Amsterdam. We'll have to see if that happens this coming year. Are you guys making plans to attend that?
Oh, I mean, we've always got a booth there, so I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows?
Okay.
I don't know with any of this stuff. But yeah, we have a booth.
All right. Very good. Very good. Ooh, an X keys 128 to the head would be painful. I'd go for the mouse pad. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The stress ball would be much better. Well, Tim, you have been a real saint to come on. I would say it's late for you, but it's, rolling into lunchtime for you. But looking forward to seeing you guys in a week and a half, and having a great time, staying healthy and happy, and being connected to friends and our live streaming family. Any closing thoughts for folks as we move to the post show? Because I think we have some questions we want to get to you. Closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts.
Not that I can think of.
Thoughts are things you think of, yes.
No, not really. I don't think so. I know that's slightly underwhelming. I didn't prepare my dossier of notes prior to this interview, so I didn't think of any final.
Nor
thoughts.
Did I ask you to. Yeah, this was supposed to be just off the cuff, easy as possible, no stress. That's so you don't have to break into your drawer of stress balls or anything like that. Okay, well, let's go to the post show.
Just be nice, be kind to everybody. That's treat other people how you'd like to be treated is a good way to go. Some of the time, I guess.
Be kind.
So yeah.
Yes, I like kindness. Kindness is a big deal. Yep. And just if anybody's curious, Tim is coming to us through vMix call at 1920 by 1080. What is the bandwidth on that one? I'll look in Call Manager and see. About 4K, 4,000 kbps. With about 305 milliseconds of latency, so less than a third of a second, about 10 frames-ish. Yeah. No, less than that, 9 frames. All right, so we're going to close out. We'll come back with some questions. Don't go anywhere because we're going into the post-show. The roller door. I swear I'd never use that again, but I had to. I just couldn't help it. Okay, so let's see. Kevin says maybe I should cycle across Australia Robin thought that you and I were already at NAB. Maggie says Dr. Pepper or root beer. All right, we got already that. We got all that. Frank is asking what your thoughts are on Starlink internet for live streaming and other purposes. Do you have an opinion on that?
Maybe. So the way that the Starlink work is different to sort of a normal internet connection. Now, I watched a video on this a while ago, like maybe 6 months ago. And so you'll have, I can't remember what it was, and I'm probably going to have to go back and re-watch all the information about it. But it's to do with the packaging, I think, of the data that comes down. So if you're watching a stream or something, I think it's fine. But when you've got to, like, say, load a website with like 100 images on it, it takes a long time because it's got to break up each of the image and download each of them individually or something like that. Like, there's a different sort of way it transports data. So I'm not sure how that will work when it comes to like streaming, and especially with uploads and stuff for streaming. So we have considered getting it just as like a video to say, well, how streaming goes on Starlink, but it's a little bit of an expensive sort of experiment to try out. But I'm sure that I'm not going to be the only one. I thought I saw a video the other day with someone talking about streaming with it. But the more available it becomes, I think the more people will be able to test it out to find out how it's going to work and whether it's going to be efficient for streaming or not. I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be good or not.
Scotty says, thank you for all the videos, the tutorials. And Robin says, yeah, I hope you get paid for those. That it is his day job. Yeah. And then Kevin says, question. Martin refuses to add support for LUTs, L-U-Ts, saying, we gave you professional color correction system instead, but LUTs are used in conjunction with full color correction. Is there some reasoning or technical issue why he won't entertain the idea?
I think it's mainly because like people think LUTs is it's a complete fix on everything. So they're like, oh, I put LUTs on every one of my cameras. Oh, why are they still different? And so why not? Yeah, we've just added proper color correction instead of using LUTs. So that's how it's been. That's what we decided to do. So yeah, there's probably not going to happen because we're going to receive the same sort of support emails from people saying, well, no, this isn't doing what I want it to do.
Right.
Why doesn't it work? Like, I don't understand it. So yeah, it's why it's better, but people will still want to use LUTs in a way that, I mean, you can copy your presets across. If you've got the same cameras, do it properly with the color correction and then just transfer it across your cameras. And then you got a great setup.
But I have this great hammer and I want to cut my tomatoes with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody like this, we do get that request a lot. And, but yeah, I don't think Martin really wants to budge on it. Maybe if it stops the people complaining about not having LUTs, then maybe, but.
Robin says it's probably under development and Martin doesn't want to say anything about it because he doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag. That's what Robin says. All right, moving along.
Yeah, well, the initial thing was that like people think that LUTs will solve all their problems, but it won't necessarily do that. So anyway.
Okay. Let's see. Brew Lafu. That's an interesting name. BRULAFU. Ask, what's the size of the vMix team? Well, I guess it depends on whether it's a soccer team or a basketball team
5'10",
or
5'11".
5'10", 5'11". Okay.
I think I'm around that something. I'm not sure. I haven't measured myself lately. I'm not sure. the last few years is taken it out of me. I'm getting older now, so probably shrunk. Who knows? We have a small team.
Beautiful Australian humor.
You can guess. I mean, there's only a few of us. Basically, it's me, and that's it. And I'm also Martin. I put on a suit and run everything in green screen for all of our shows and stuff like that, and throw my voice and that kind of thing. So, no, we only have a small team. We don't usually really talk about numbers and stuff. There's not many of us, so
yeah. I can't imagine being on your team when the pandemic hit and you guys went from 100 emails a day to 1,000 emails a day. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's good fun. It was good fun.
I'm sure that was good fun. Hopefully that's changed a little bit.
It's slowed down a little bit, like support-wise, which is good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Jeff wants new skins so he can make his own vMix skin. Brew LaFou says, I just want to thank Tim and Martin and everyone at vMix for enabling me to be able to be at the top of my game for online sign language interpreting. Totally a game changer. A game changer for the deaf community. How about that? There you go.
Cool.
Nice to hear. Wixton is asking a couple months later, how is the Max product working out for you guys? I've been using it a couple of times. vMix to the Max.
A couple of months later. Well, it's almost coming up to a year now.
Yeah.
In a few months. So, it's been going well, I guess.
Is it doing what you expected it to do? People using it the way you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think that everybody was like, it's the nature of today's sort of 24-hour news cycle and stuff like that, where everybody's like, oh, vMix is ruined now. They've got a subscription. They're going to completely switch to a subscription. Where are those people now? It's been 9 months or more since we started doing it, and we haven't changed any of the other things. So anyway, it's been going well. It's one of those things that we didn't really realize, talking to you and talking to other people in regards to the way that the billing system works in different, organizations and stuff. Whereas some people can pay for a subscription easily because it falls under a certain amount or it falls under a different category of payment. So they can easily do a subscription, whereas they couldn't do a once-off payment ever. So that's a real benefit for a lot of people. So yeah,
good.
Now, people do ask for a cheaper version, so having the HD version as a thing, and the $60 version as a $3 a week thing, or the $3 a month thing, and all that kind of stuff. And it's not something that we've looked at. Just the way that everything works out, we'll probably just keep that Max one as it is. Good.
Wixton says that Sweden is still not receiving any T-shirts. Just saying. I think there's a problem with the distribution
the company
system.
that, so Redbubble, it's an Australian company initially, but they're based out of the US now, so they kind of have different manufacturing factories in different locations, and depending on where it is, there's one really close to us. So I bought a T-shirt and had it delivered 2 days later, printed. Mm-hmm. So, and some of the guys in the US have already got them, and
mine took about a week.
I think they don't have as much. Right, yeah, they don't have as much coverage in the EU, so it's probably being printed and being sent out, and harass Redbubble if it doesn't arrive in time. It's the reason we kind of did it through someone else completely, and just said, look, this is what they are, and go nuts. Whereas if we did it, it's hugely problematic and a giant pain to create your own short run merch. So.
Sure. No, it's a good move. I mean, especially when you consider you're a mouse pad company. You don't want to get confused on your goals there.
That's right. Somebody did ask for mouse pads as a part of the NFT drop, but we had a look at the mouse pad, and it was really expensive for them to manufacture. So
Mhm.
like on a scale of like mass producing the ones for NAB and shipping those, you're looking at a single digit,
Right.
production amount, whereas these were going to end up costing like $28 per
Oh, I
for a
know.
mouse pad,
I had some made
and that's with no
years
cost.
ago. They were $35 each.
Yeah,
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 for
it's
10.
crazy. So whatever tooling they use for the like the D to G stuff, the shirts and things can't be used for the mouse pads, I'm assuming. So they have a lot of expenses. So we set everything at cost. So all the NFTs, nothing was profit making. Everything was set at cost. So we didn't make any money from any of it. So whatever the base price was for the t-shirts was what the person paid plus shipping. So yeah, no money.
Very generous. Very generous. Of course, you only sold 6 of them, so I guess that's the case. So Wixton asks, can we follow the vMix booth live at NAB? You have a live streaming
No, there
camera
won't be
from the
any
booth?
sort of live streaming. No, there won't be. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other people floating around live streaming stuff, but we don't have any. It's difficult to create something that's going to be worthwhile. To get a dedicated like 3 megabit connection to your booth, it's like maybe $5,000 to $10,000, which is not really worth it for 3.5 days of internet. So I'm not gonna. It's not worthwhile.
No.
Yeah. So we have a shared you can get a shared like 3 to 5 megabit or something, and that's already extremely expensive. But if you wanted to stream, you would definitely need a dedicated line, which is just exorbitantly expensive. So yeah, no streaming for us.
Okay. The Stream Geek says that vMix Social definitely got them through the lockdown. Yep. And let's see. Wixon says, we had a booth at the fair this weekend with a popcorn machine. The first day was okay. The next day we got cut off. The janitors had to clean the floor for popcorn hours later at night. That's
funny.
great. Okay.
We've thought about
Sharpcut.
having food before.
Yeah, don't get peanuts.
Like we really wanted popcorn because I love the smell of popcorn. When I go to the movies, I always get like a giant thing of buttered popcorn and stuff, and so I really like it. But we would just typical, us. We kind of looked into it like, well, what is it? What's it going to be? How much is it going to cost? And then you do start Googling it, and you realize that like the buttered popcorn smoke has like carcinogens in it, and you shouldn't really be inhaling buttered popcorn smell for long periods of time. And then we're like, oh, well, we can't do that. So then we looked into like Stroop waffles because there was a company at IBC that did the like at the booth Stroop waffles, and we're like, yes. So that was 2019, and then that was the last time. So I do still have a business card of somebody that comes by the booth, but with the way it all is now, there's probably a bunch of occupational health and safety issues and stuff with giving people food at your booth and sanitation and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I would hate to think what a popcorn machine and having to clean that up, because yeah, that would be the first thing, is if you were the only place having popcorn at your booth and there was popcorn strewn from like one end to the other, they'd be like, it's your fault. You've got to go clean it up. We're
sending you a bill. Yep. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Other mentions here. We'll skip that one. Okay. Sharpcut says there are 4 recording options in my vMix, but just 2 recorders are supported in the product matrix. Why is that? So you've got what, AVI and MP4 and whatever the others are. I could look. I have vMix open right in front of me. WMV and then vMix AVI and FFmpeg. but you can only record in 2 of those. I guess they're saying, why not record all of them?
I'm not sure that I follow.
I mean, I could have an AVI and an MP4 and a WMV, and I want all 3 of those formats, but I can only have 2 recorders.
Maybe they're referring to the outputs, maybe? Like the 4 outputs and recording, you can assign only 2 of those to be recorded. Because there's more than 4 recording formats.
Yeah, but you can only make 2 recordings at a time.
Correct.
Output number 1 and output
But it can be
number 2.
any combination of those types of recording. That's what I mean. So
right.
Maybe they're referring to like the fact that there's 4 external output, like 4 outputs that you could use, but you can only record 2 of them. It's mainly just for performance issues. So if you've got all of this stuff happening at once, it's just not going to work out. Plus, you've only got usually a set amount of hardware encoders, unless you've got a series NVIDIA card. But it's just for performance. We only added the second recording, a few years back. So yeah, it'd be for performance reasons. That's why. If that's what you're referring to,
I think that's what
something else.
I think that's the answer to the comment. Yep. Keep looking here. Oh, Kevin says that then NFTs are really the future of vMix. He just was letting you know he thought that was the case. And that OFTV says
Web3.
It's 3 a.m. in Germany right now.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's some dedicated
That's quite
fans.
Early.
Yeah, quite late.
How's it going, Germany?
I was awake at 3:30 a.m. this morning. I made the mistake of having coffee with dinner.
So I have a pretty strict rule about caffeine after.
I know, but it just smelled so good.
Just gets you.
It smells so good. I just thought, just this one
That's
time.
why I don't drink Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew's full of caffeine.
Maybe my body won't notice this time. No, it did.
It always does.
Yeah. And I realized caffeine does the same thing to me. I have a strict rule that I follow 90% of the time. And it's 80% effective. Mm-hmm. That I don't drink alcohol in business climates. 99% of the time. And I had a cup of coffee before a business meeting the other day, and I realized I say dumb stuff with coffee too. And then I'm thinking, maybe it's not the alcohol or the caffeine, maybe it's just me. I can blame it on that other stuff, but no. So no caffeine, no alcohol, just lemonade. We paid 3 years ago when we had the Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB on the floor of NAB, hosted by Streaming Idiots and PTZ Optics.
And before you go any further, who warned you that it would cost you a fortune before you did it? Who was that person?
Nobody told me anything. I just walked into it completely blind.
No one told you anything about
Nobody told me anything.
Food and beverage services at a trade show. No one.
Do you know how much it costs?
Previous experience or had looked into it.
Do you know how much it costs?
How much everything costs at trade shows
for a pound of mixed nuts? A pound of mixed nuts. $98. Yep. $98 US dollars for a pound of mixed nuts. One of my good friends who will, and I'll even name it, it's Ken Benedict from California. He smuggled in $300 worth of peanuts under his arms to the show. Mm-hmm. That's a true friend.
Yeah.
He risked being nabbed by the nut police. Yep.
No, I warned you.
You warned me.
I said, look, do not do this at the booth because you have to pay for every single service. You have to pay for security. You'll have to pay for someone to be a bartender. You have to pay for like exorbitant prices for nuts and drinks and everything.
Bless their hearts, PTZ Optics picked up the bulk of the tab, except the peanuts. I had to.
The bulk of the tab is still like crazy amounts of money.
Oh,
but yeah,
it was crazy.
Never have an NAB organized party at your booth.
But it was a wonderful party. It was. But I like going back to Scott Whitney's studio. That's going to be, the right environment. He's redone his studio, so it's going to be new.
Yeah, is it at the same location?
I think so. I think it's same location. I'll make sure everybody's real clear on that.
That place is pretty sketchy, but yeah.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that. And I think I want to do a different format and maybe kind of implement a Zoom audience and let them have some interaction with folks that are there. I don't think there are going to be a lot of people there. I think there could be more people.
Might be
watching.
Surprised.
Might be.
I don't know.
Might be. I'm planning for 50. So we got a case of root beer, a case of lemonade, a case of Pepsis. That'll get us through, don't you think? And some mixed nuts, and some barbecue, and I think we might get some shrimp. And I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be a gastronomic success. Yep. So, what else you got?
Me? Not much. We don't have much exciting going on, so there's nothing. We don't have any, exciting new features or fake features I can tell you about. Promise and not deliver on. So.
Notice how he said that I can tell you about. That little qualifier.
Oh no, that wasn't.
We don't have anything
qualifier
that we can tell you about. Yeah.
Though a lot of people come to these trade shows and they have stuff that never sees the light of day. So we don't like
vaporware
saying that this will happen, that'll happen, and you never see it, or you see it 3 years later or something like that. There's no fun in that. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Mr. Pirate 04 is being belligerent in the chat room. I'll give you one guess who Mr. Pirate 04 is.
One guess? Oh, I don't know.
One guess. And it is not a Mr.
Oh.
It is a Mrs. Yes. It is my Mrs. She's like, she's causing trouble. Just think. Wait till we get her to Las Vegas. Holy cow. Well, Tim, you have been a saint to stay up late with us because it's probably 11:15 now.
Yep. It's getting late.
Yep. And just a reminder that this is the code down here that you can use to get your free pass to the floor of NAB, LV 3657. And that will get you into all of the streaming, all of the NAB show. Yep, there we go. Fabulous Las Vegas. Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. I mean, of all the places in the world to go, Las Vegas is really not that fabulous, but that's okay. We're sort of stuck with it. Oh, I see. He was going to adjust it. I was putting him full frame, so there you go. So goodbye from Dan, the banana guy. TKDS Sports says, I just got in. Well, we're glad you made it. Glad you made it right before we cut off the air. So, let me show you vMix. Let me show you Tim's whole background here so we can see. You see all of the graphics cards that they use and test over his left shoulder. His left shoulder to our
People
right.
Get really upset at displaying all of those because there's, because of the GPU shortages. But
yeah, and you guys have got them all.
Built a decent collection over the years. Yeah.
And then I see a little Core i9 box. That looks like one of those high core i9s over
Yeah,
his
there's a bunch of
right
there's an
shoulder.
i9 and a Threadripper and Ryzen's and all sorts of stuff
Yeah.
CPU wise on the computer.
Yeah. It's like my closet. Yeah, Scotty says the banana is the best mascot. Yep. So that's it. That's it. Folks, thanks for tuning in. If you're coming to NAB, don't forget the code. Do I have it here? Yeah, there we go. That'll get you a free badge. And be sure and look up the vMix booth and our friends at X Keys and PTZ Optics and all the other folks. I'll be circling about, and don't hesitate to track me down. And we'll have
drop by and say
together.
hello. Don't touch me. That's all I'm asking.
I will not touch you.
No touching.
No touching.
We have a no touching policy. It's a little bit tricky at the moment, like just trying to like come in contact with a lot of different people, but then getting home as well. So the last thing we really want to do is kind of be stuck in the US for 7 days in a hotel or something to isolate and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll have a no touching policy at NAP, which is probably a good thing anyway. Like, I mean, I'm not particularly a fan of being touched by strangers. So
what about a knuckle punch?
Yeah, one of those.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Knuckle punch it is.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So give Tim a knuckle punch.
No touching.
All right.
Yeah. I think
cool.
It's fist bump. I think it's what it's called.
A fist bump. Yeah. You could call it that.
That's what it's called.
I like it as a knuckle punch. Yeah. All right. Hang around for just a second. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Will be the last live stream before NAB. Test Protesto with PTZ Optics is going to be our very special guest. It'll be at regular time, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So we will see you then. All right. Take care.